30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday, getting the brand new week started, August 26th. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Kevin Downey Jr. is here. He's going to do some news in a second. Rick Delgado's here as well. He's got some news coming up. You guys want to listen to Tulsi Gabbard today?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously, this is probably the news of the day after RFK's speech on Friday, of course, which was fantastic.
Which was, again, I wasn't here, so I didn't see the whole ramifications of it. But from what I understand, it was seismic, right? Because it basically took all of the quote unquote momentum from the DNC and basically took their legs out, right?
He took a blowtorch to him. He took 4 days of the DNC and just blowtorched it in about 35 minutes.
That's awesome.
And really, the 35 minutes was the full. You can condense it down to maybe 7 or 8 minutes where he went, just laid out why he can't support the party, where they've gone, what they did to him. Like I said on Friday, it was a guy who had just said, enough's enough. Today's the day I decide to fight back.
Right.
And that's how it came across. And then he went to the Trump rally in Arizona and went out there and scorched them again. And there's been some great articles written about his speech, and I have one of them. If I have time, I'll get to that, on really the weightiness of it and how history will look back on it. We still have a long way to go, but people who say, I think after hearing it, people who say it doesn't matter, I think there's maybe some differing thoughts on it. It might matter quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, from what I understand, and this was a big complaint coming from Democrats, is that a lot of women are now signaling they'll vote for Trump because they were leaning Kennedy.
Yeah, they love Bobby.
Yeah. So, hey, you take them where you can get them.
Yeah.
And again, I'll throw it back to I think I said something about this last year where I think these two kind of have a history that people don't understand because of his relationship, Trump's relationship with his cousin, who passed away 20 years ago.
Yeah. Junior.
So, yeah.
Yep. All right. So Tulsi Gabbard, so we had heard from RFK. We've heard a lot from RFK in the last 3 days since he gave the speech. He went on, I think he was on Tucker.
He was on Tucker today.
Yeah, he was on Tucker today. He's gone on a couple other things, and he says, you just wait. Not only are you going to see other people join what he's calling the unity ticket, but he said today, I'm going to be a big part of the transition team as well. God willing, we win. I'm going to be a part of the transition team. So he's all in with 2 feet. And I'll tell you the other thing I saw today, because a lot of people say, his wife. I saw a report that it was his wife who told Junior to hear Trump out.
Cheryl Hines.
So all this for Cheryl Hines has got to be thinking, oh, man. Well, no. No, it seems like maybe it could be. Who knows? But some of the reporting is that she was the one who said maybe you should hear him out.
Right.
So today another shoe dropped, and that, of course, not surprising, especially some of the reporting on what they're doing to her, what's going on with her, is Tulsi Gabbard. And, of course, Tulsi Gabbard has really seen the light. Remember, she absolutely smoked Kamala Harris in the debate, why Kamala Harris never made it to Iowa. Tulsi Gabbard today took to the stage at the National Guard Association, and here's her remarks from today.
It is a privilege to be here with all of you, my brothers and sisters in uniform, especially on this day of all days. I had the privilege of joining President Trump this morning at Arlington Cemetery, where he joined 2 Gold Star families and loved ones of Staff Sergeant Hoover and Sergeant G, both of whom were 2 of the 13 killed in the Abbey Gate attack 3 years ago today in Kabul. And I can tell you, as we were there, as he laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, joining these Marines' loved ones, I felt the sorrow that he shared with them in their loss. I felt and saw his sincere appreciation for these servicemen and women who paid the ultimate price and their loved ones who continue to grieve to this day. This is personal for me, as I know it is for so many of you here. This is real. It's not just words. I first deployed to Iraq in 2005 with the Hawaii Army National Guard as a member of Charlie Med. As those of you who were deployed during that time know, it was the height of the war, and sadly, we took many casualties. And every day we were confronted with that high human cost of war and that sadness as we boarded the plane when we left, that we were leaving some of our brothers and sisters behind, only to lose others when we got home to suicide. So I mean what I say when I share with you that I know that President Trump understands the grave responsibility that a president and commander-in-chief bears for every single one of our lives. Whether you're a soldier, you're an airman, a Marine, sailor, or a coastie, he keeps us in his heart in the decisions that he makes. We saw this through his first term in the presidency, when he not only didn't start any new wars, he took action to de-escalate and prevent wars. He exercised the courage that we expect from our commander-in-chief in exhausting all measures of diplomacy, having the courage to meet with adversaries, dictators, allies, and partners alike in the pursuit of peace, seeing war as a last resort. The truth is, as we head towards our decision as a country in November, the same cannot be said about Kamala Harris. In fact, the opposite is true, and we're living through this reality today as this administration has us facing multiple wars on multiple fronts and regions around the world, and closer to the brink of nuclear war than we ever have been before. This is one of the main reasons why I'm committed to doing all that I can to send President Trump back to the White House, where he can once again serve us as our commander-in-chief. Because I am confident that his first task will be to do the work to walk us back from the brink of war. We cannot be prosperous unless we are at peace. And we can't live free as long as we have a government that is retaliating against its political opponents and undermining our civil liberties, weaponizing our very institutions against those they deem as a threat. Kamala Harris has done this over the last 3.5 years. She won't hesitate to continue that if she is elected as president. President Trump has been their first and foremost target in this because they don't want us as voters to even have the option to vote for him. I've been their most recent target, added to a secret domestic terror watch list after exposing the truth about what kind of dangers we would face if Kamala Harris is elected as president. We as Americans must stand together to reject this anti-freedom culture of political retaliation and abuse of power. We can't allow our country to be destroyed by politicians who will put their own power ahead of the interests of the American people, our freedom, and our future. I am proud to stand here before you today, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent. If you love our country, as I do, if you cherish peace and freedom as we do, I invite you to join me in doing all that we can to save our country and elect President Donald J. Trump and send him back to the White House to do the tough work of saving our country and serving the people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Wow.
There you have it.
There you have it. Is right. Strong. Tulsi Gabbard, who's, she's always been, kind of since she kind of really started to get away from the party and clearly, show up on Fox News and clearly start to show the differences and that this is just not the party that I remember or wanted to be a part of.
Right.
She's been strong. And she's badass. She served the country. We know that. And I don't know how you guys feel, but I mean, the Democrat Party for me is, I guess, not that much different than they've always been. I don't think they've ever really loved the country. But I do sense that I'm feeling like a sea change of, it's truly not Republican Democrat an election. It really is. You're feeling the kind of good versus evil, like
I can see
common sense party. It's almost the Republican and Democrat name. I'm starting to sense like almost being removed. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
but I feel like it's becoming less and less of the story. Like, are you going to vote Democrat or Republican? And it's becoming, are you going to vote for the country? Are you going to vote for good? Are you going to vote for the ideals that we know we all, whether we can disagree on, a lot of things, but we all believe in, we believe the country was founded on, we believe the way we grew up 30, 40 years ago, what the country was like, that this is just not it. This is a bridge too far. This is communism. This is what we see in banana republics, and we're just not going to allow it to come here.
Yeah, it's almost like that scene in The Matrix when Neo finally just kind of takes over, and you see that everything starts to crumble. It's like that. It's like people are starting to recognize, like you said, good versus evil. It's like these people are nuts. Oh, let's get women. Let's ban women from women's sports so we could have guys dress up as women. Just common sense things that don't make sense, and try and promote them and sell you that this is real, and don't believe your eyes and don't believe your ears. 2 + 2 = 5 kind of nonsense. That's the kind of stuff that I think we're seeing, because that's the only way you can describe it. None of that makes sense. You know what I mean? Where there's no way people think that, oh, well, this is normal. This is okay. Yeah. Our kids should all dress up as girls. We should let 6-year-olds determine if they want to have a sex change, because that's normal. None of that stuff has ever been normal, and it never will be normal. Only to the rotted, evil mind that they want it to be normal.
Do you sense this, and are you hearing it when you take calls on your radio show? Like, what are you sensing?
Absolutely. And I agree with you. I've been saying this for a while. This is not red versus blue, donkey versus elephant. A lot of people think it is. I know a lot of people, well, I'm a Democrat, so I'm going to vote for a Democrat. And but Rick said something right on. How can you vote for a party that says it's okay for your 14-year-old boy to cut off his twig and berries so he can get more likes on TikTok? This is communism. It's here. It's not going away until we chase it away. This is, the old time elections are over. This is good versus evil, nothing else.
Our live from Studio 6B. Kevin Downey Jr. with the news. Coming up when we get back, 43 past the hour. We're back right after this. Our live from Studio 6B in the chat. Make sure you hit your like and subscribe. I'm hoping the problems are fixed on social media. Haven't seen anybody complain about the audio or anything else, so.
Looks like Facebook's down.
Facebook's down?
Well, there's your first complaint.
No, it's up.
Is it up?
I mean, I see people from Facebook commenting.
Okay.
So maybe shift refresh your.
I had to refresh the page after the screen.
Shift refresh your screen.
Okay, I see the Rumble chat is now up. Good. Rumblies.
Hello, everybody on social media. If you don't vote, please don't ever come back in the chat. Well, that's strong. Okay. Everybody's got to vote this year.
All hands on deck.
All hands on deck is right.
Vote early, vote often.
Chicago style, like the hot dog.
Telegram finder. Well, we saw that story about this guy going.
Yeah.
Why would you go to, if you know there's an arrest warrant out for you there, why would he go to France? Any idea? What's the backstory here?
I don't know if he knew he was going to get arrested.
We know none of these governments like Telegram, especially the U.S. government. Have you heard Mike Benz talking about this?
No.
That it's really more of the U.S. than it is France. That it's our
I believe
Department of State.
You mean the same Department of State full of Iranian spies? That one?
The Twixers.
You know what just occurred to me today? The government has known for 3 years that Iran wanted to kill Trump. How many millions of dollars did Biden send them since he got in office? Knowing full well what they had planned to do. He's complicit. He's complicit because they were broke.
They were broke. Trump had his proverbial foot on their neck. Mm-hmm. And Biden has not only taken it off, but he's brushed them off, gotten them up on their feet, and said, "Can I get you anything?"
Yeah. All right. According to Chipsky in the
Easy13LUE on Kick.
On the Rumble chat.
What's going on?
The warrant for Durov was issued minutes before he landed in Paris. So basically, they knew he was coming in. They waited till he got there, issued it, and then went and picked him up.
I mean, is there something about this we're missing, or they're just arresting him because they don't like it? They don't think he's policing his platform enough.
That's pretty much it. That's the way it is in Europe now.
I think
they're throwing people in.
All right, 13th of the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday, Real America's Voice. Glad you're in. Rick Delgado's doing some news. Kevin Downey Jr.'s got some news coming up right now. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Glad you're a part of the show. If you're following us on social media at LFS6B, pretty much everywhere, Facebook, YouTube, you can find us at LFS6B, X, of course, at LFS6B, Instagram at LFS6B Show, Facebook.com/LFS6B. Make sure you like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, share, comment, whatever engagement you can give us. We appreciate it. Live from Studio6B.com, of course, the mothership where you can find everything, all past shows, Crazy Town. What even is that? It's clips, merch, everything over at livefromstudio6b.com. So make sure you sign up as a member over there. We were talking before we went to the break that I do, you see RFK's speech, very powerful Friday. What you see over the weekend, he did some more interviews. You see the left-wing media scrambling on this. You see Tulsi Gabbard today. You really, for me, do sense a change in the feeling out there that this really is now becoming more good versus evil, patriots versus communism, freedom versus Marxism, liberty versus tyranny. So if you feel the same, I'm interested in what the audience thinks, or if I'm just nuts, because it wouldn't be the first time. If you agree with me, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't feel the change yet, put a 2 in the chat. And I'm interested to see if I'm nuts or if people agree. And be honest, if you seriously don't feel like we're there yet, put a 2. If you do feel like we're there and you do sense it, put a 1. So I want to see 1s and 2s. Let's see which one wins out. So
yeah. I feel like we're on the cusp. Like you feel it, right? Like it could be, like in the instances of RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard, people like that, and then you hear the comments, oh, you're going to see more start to come out. And it's almost like when a celebrity comes out and says, you know what, like The Rock did over the summer, said, I supported Biden last time, I'm not doing that this time. It's almost like giving the green light to people to say, I don't have to hide this anymore. You know what I mean? Like they can come out of the proverbial Trump closet and say, you know what? I might not wear the hat, but I'm going to vote for the guy because the other people don't know what the hell is going on. When you have someone even like Bill Barr come out and he endorses Trump. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
I've got the real quick 30-second clip, and then we'll cut it to Kevin. Cut number 1. Here's Bill Barr on CNN responding to Trump and the endorsement that Bill Barr just gave him.
response to you saying you'd vote for the Republican ticket. Wow, former AG Bill Barr, who let a lot of great people down by not investigating voter fraud in our country, has just endorsed me for president despite the fact that I called him weak, slow-moving, lethargic, gutless, and lazy. Based on the fact that I greatly appreciate his wholehearted endorsement, I am removing the word lethargic from my statement. Thank you, Bill.
He laughs and says classic Trump.
Yeah. It's classic Trump.
Yeah. That's a while ago.
Oh, is it? Because
that's a long.
it was
a long time ago.
It was just popping today.
Oh yeah, that's an old clip.
But
it is classic Trump. Yeah, it is classic Trump. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what Bill Barr's. I mean, if he's endorsed Trump or would vote. I mean, he says he's going to vote for the Republican ticket, so I know that. So. All right, let's do the news with Kevin Downey Jr. He's the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, each and every morning, 103.9 LI News right here in Long Island. What's going on, Kev?
Well, you had touched on this earlier, Big D. The knives are out for Cheryl Hines and, of course, RFK Jr. This is from actor Bradley Whitford. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he's on. I don't watch modern TV because it's nothing but brainwashing, and I don't want to have to suddenly, for reasons unknown to me, dye my hair and cut off my business, so I avoid that.
Smash your TV with a hammer.
Yeah. He writes, "Hey, Cheryl Hines, way to stay silent while your lunatic husband throws his support behind the adjudicated rapist," that's not true, "who brags about stripping women of their fundamental rights," that's not true. He writes, "Gutsy, great example for the kids, profile and courage," of course, referring to JFK's autobiography there. And even worse, this is Carrie Kennedy. This is RFK Jr.'s own sister. She writes, "I think if my dad were alive today, the real Robert Kennedy," ouch, I see what she's doing there, "would have detested almost everything that Trump represents. I am outraged and disgusted by my brother, his obscene embrace of Donald Trump. And I completely disavow and disassociate myself from Robert Kennedy Jr. and his flagrant efforts to trample my father's memory. Let's keep in mind, this woman used to have sex with Andrew Cuomo. All right, she was married to him. If you really want to take her word for it, go ahead. She doesn't mention that her cousin raped someone. She doesn't mention another cousin beat a girl to death with a golf club. It doesn't disassociate from them, and doesn't disassociate from her Uncle Teddy, who drove Mary Jo Kopechne into the water and let her drown. They're fine. But this is a Kennedy who thinks for himself, so she has to, she disavows, separates, and disassociates herself from her brother.
I think by the way, her RFK would be more surprised of your support for what's going on in Gaza and the Palestinians, given that it was a Palestinian who killed him. So maybe he'd be more surprised at that, actually.
Great point.
But I don't know. Just a guess.
I can't disagree.
I mean, this family. I mean, what is with them with these public statements? I mean, it's like just. It's
really?
Like these people are gross.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he's the only one that's of note, right? Are any of the other ones, like the sister and whoever?
No.
Are they even relevant?
Know who the hell they are?
Nobody knows who the hell they are.
Yeah, but they take the opportunity to smash them here when they can. They come out with this stupid statement that's repulsive.
And you know what? This is not their party. The older Kennedys. The current Democrat Party looks nothing like the party in the early through mid 60s.
No,
at all. The Kennedy I remember stared down the communists. Didn't invite him into the White House.
Right.
JFK and RFK would not recognize this party, as we talked about on Friday. We went through JFK's positions on many things. His stance in the world, financial things, the economic stuff. He would not recognize this party at all. And as we said when the DNC was going on, by the way, Bill Clinton, for all intents and purposes, shouldn't even be welcomed in the party for the things he stood for as president. Mm-hmm. That's how far left this party has moved since the 90s.
Yeah, and he paid a whole lot more to shut a woman up that he raped. Right? Paula Jones? Ring any bells?
Yeah.
Slick Bill?
That's just one.
Yeah.
That's one. That's not even Juanita Broderick, who I don't think got any money. Not that makes it better.
All right, what else, Kev?
We got, check this out. Elon Musk shared this tweet, and it says, UK government prepares to deploy asylum seekers across the country, and also to be given priority over the Brits when it comes to finding housing. So call me a wacky doodle. This is their whole replacement theory that doesn't exist. And it's not just about white people. They're going after every natural-born Brit, and they will do it here. If Kamala wins, they will do it here. They will take your homes. They will say, hey, you empty nesters, it's a big 4-bedroom house. You know what? We're going to put you up in this little cubicle over here because your replacements need it. Now, keep in mind, they're going to give those replacements about $100,000 to buy your house. They'll never have to pay it back, but that's neither here nor there. This is really happening. They already took a house of one couple because it was their summer house in England. They said, well, you're not using it. We're taking it, and here's what we're going to pay you for it. They didn't have a choice. That is coming here. Everything that happens in the UK ends up here between 4 and 5 years later, usually. And I promise you, as sure as the sun will rise, we are going to face this if we don't vote our way out of this right now. That's the way to do it. And I noticed this weekend a bunch of stabbings across the UK. There are 1 or 2 in Germany and also in Sweden. And so naturally, the people who are from those nations decided they were going to protest. Well, it's not an accident, if you ask me, that these all happen on the same weekend. This is the work of globalists, and part of the plan, this is what Yuri Bezmenov called Part 3 crisis, where you have a violent 6 weeks, and when it all settles, the communists take over.
All right, 4 minutes to the hour, live from Studio 6B. Quick hour 1, hour 2 coming up. More news with the boys. Aaron Fran holding it down. Slick's off tonight. He'll be back tomorrow with sports. Of course, that's brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. We'll do an hour 2 when we get back right after this.
Wants to know how to send stars.
I don't know how to send stars.
Ricky says, how do we send stars?
I don't know.
I think that's something on Facebook. I have no idea. Don't even worry about it.
Hour 2, Goonie Goo Goo, Nick 387.
Man, the first hour flew by.
Yeah, it always does.
And there's a guest at 9:30, you said?
Yes, who's joining us at 9:30? The wellness company, right?
Yes, Dr. Tapper.
Yeah, Aaron, open with that again. Cold open with that again. Top of the hour. It's worth it. Hey, did you see Trump was on with
yes,
our guy there?
Yep.
That I love, Sean Ryan?
Yep. I
haven't watched it yet. No, I haven't watched it yet either. But I got to watch that. He's great.
I wonder if he was doing the same thing. Sean Ryan.
No, the highlights look like they're in a hotel room, and I think they're in a hotel room in Vegas, and he's on the edge of his seat, it looks like.
Yeah, Bongino was doing this panel with Corey Mills and a bunch of the guys about the Secret Service thing.
Yeah, I
started watching some of it.
Kevin Downey Jr. is going to take us both to Facebook jail. Silly.
Rick showing off his guns tonight, says someone on X.
Kaboom!
Racing Banshee.
Can't even see him.
No, you
I'm
can't.
hiding behind the freaking thing.
Get him in the camera shot. Aaron, put Delgado's one shot. There you go. Now, Delgado, go ahead. You
But
can
it's still.
You can show them off now. There you go. That's what he was doing during the concert.
Yes.
Every 5 seconds.
I was like, what time is it? Where's the bathroom? It's over there.
It's over there, brother.
Ooh, yeah. Give me another blue moon.
Should we just go through Delgado's tweet storm?
If you'd like to, it's not that bad actually. You're the one again. You're just pissed because you started it. I wasn't going to text at all.
My
I put my
start was
phone on
great.
silent.
To you.
Today is a somber anniversary. It is the third anniversary of the suicide bombing at the Kabul airport during Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's botched pullout of Afghanistan.
The most historic blunder. This administration needs to go.
Taliban fighters now claiming 9 key cities tonight.
Taliban fighters patrolling the streets victorious.
It's time for American troops to come home.
And he was proven right on this deadly day.
Top story today. 2 explosions killed 12 service members.
Afghanistan.
Yes.
Were you the last person in the room?
Yes.
And you feel comfortable?
I do.
Breaking news right now. President Trump is in Washington, D.C. More specifically, he is at Arlington National Cemetery, and he is there to pay his respects on this third anniversary of the Kabul airport bombing.
All right, hour 2, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. Real America's Voice, August 26th, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Glad you're in. Rick Delgado's here. Got the news. Kevin Downey Jr., host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show, sitting in as well. Aaron and Fran, as always, holding it down for us, doing a great job. Glad you're in. If you're watching us on social media, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. By the way, I would say number 1, definitely won out. People feel like they sense a change. Now, there were some people who creatively put 1 and 2 in there for 12, and I think that maybe is more to where you are, Delgado. Like, sense it, but not quite there yet. Maybe that's the way I took it. But a lot of 1s, some 2s. Don't feel a change yet. But Tulsi Gabbard today, RFK Jr. obviously last Friday. I don't know who. Is there another? Like, who would be like another? Is there another shoe that could drop that would really make a mark here? Who would it be?
I can't think of one right now. Maybe James Carville.
What about Joe Manchin?
Joe Manchin is as hard leftist. He's no chance.
But because I think back,
they say he's a moderate, but he's not.
Right. I think back to the dude you love, Michael Rappaport, who's been a raging lunatic against Trump, where all of a sudden he's like, I was lied to. When you're starting to get people like that admitting that they believed the lie, I think that's where it's like a bubbling underneath the surface kind of thing, where it's starting to come up. And people like him are starting to pop. And maybe they won't post about it, but they'll be like, well, I'm not going to tell you who I'm going to vote for. Usually those people will be like, oh yeah, Biden, Harris, all the way. Now they're not out there. They're not doing that. And so hopefully that's a good thing.
Yeah. All right, so we'll get to some more news, some other things. I saw this headline in Just the News today, our friend John Solomon, and I just had a chuckle. Hundreds of former Bush, Romney, and McCain aides endorsed Kamala Harris over Trump.
Of course.
I just said to myself, like exactly what you just did. Of course they did. The group said that while they have ideological differences, I'd like for any one of them to define, in this day and age, ideological differences with Harris and her running mate, Tim Walz. Another 4 years of Trump would be untenable, they say. Really? And how exactly would that be untenable? The drama from these wussies is just That's what's untenable. Dealing with these low-life losers that called themselves Republicans, that this party has put up with and dealt with, and unfortunately put up in front of the party for them to all get their ass whooped because they're just soft. I got to be careful here. I could curse very easily right now. Got to watch myself. Because they're just a bunch of wussies, these people. Bush, McCain, Romney aides. Just think about that. Hey, what are you? I'm a Romney aide. Really? A Romney aide.
Yeah, you admit to that?
Exactly.
Yeesh.
I mean, more than 200 aides to former Republican presidential contenders Mitt Romney, loser. Senator John McCain, loser. And former President George W. Bush, of course, he was a winner and actually assumed the office, and George H.W. Bush also was, endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris on Monday over President Donald Trump. McCain was a Republican presidential nominee in 2008, but lost to President Barack Obama. Romney also lost to Obama in 2012. So who really cares when losers tell you who they don't want to vote for? Nobody. Nobody cares what these people think about our nominee. He doesn't represent those people. He doesn't represent you. And that's the way we want it.
Yeah.
If we wanted you, you would have won. And we would still have you around. We can't get rid of you and your in your ilk fast enough in this party. Take Paul Ryan with you. So you put you all on a bus and just get it out of here, is what we'd like to do with every one of your of those names. And add a bunch to it. Like Ryan. Kinzinger. Most of all, McConnell. And get them all out of here. If you represented the party or what the party believes in, you'd still be relevant. You're all as relevant as Biden out there at the dog track with a little tag on him that says, I used to be somebody. That's where all of you are. So we don't care about 200 aides associated with losers telling us about who they want to vote for and why it would be untenable. Yeah, it's untenable to your party. It's untenable. I mean, not to your party. It's untenable to your power.
And to their party.
That's what it's untenable to.
Because they're really Democrats. What they're really saying is that they're Democrats, disguised as rhinos. I mean, that's the establishment class, right? The Romney aides, who probably went from his campaign to his Senate office back to another government job. They just keep circulating like bad cheese, just getting pushed around. And they expect to be taken seriously because, well, I'm in the government. Nobody cares that you're in the government. As a matter of fact, you're afraid of Donald Trump because he's going to be the person who's going to enable your type to be banished from the government. That's the part that they're afraid of. Because once they start cleaning house, and my lips to God's ears, to Donald's ears, please do it. Just destroy the size of this government. Because, when they were going through the jobs numbers we came in 818,000 less jobs. You know what didn't suffer a job loss? Government continued to grow. So those are the people that are going to lose their jobs. Those are the ones we hope lose their jobs because as an aide to Mitt Romney and Adam Kinzinger, you serve no purpose. You should be embarrassed for yourself.
Imagine in this day and age, imagine how lame and pathetic you have to be able to say, well, we might have ideological disagreements, but I can't endorse the conservative Republican common sense candidate. I'm going to endorse these people even though we have ideological disagreements. Think about pawning what they want to do to the country off as just ideological disagreements and thinking people can take you seriously. That's all it is. Packing the Supreme Court, ideological differences. Getting rid of the filibuster, ideological differences. Really? That's how you're going to chalk it up? Ideological differences? Their ideology is a sickness. Your ideology is supposed to be a way of life. There's a big difference in those two things. To think that you could just say, well, we have ideological differences. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, abortion on demand, that's a little ideological difference. Packing the Supreme Court, just a little bit of an ideological difference. But that's okay. We're going to support him because the other guy's mean. Oh, well, that will destroy the country. Well, we don't like mean tweets. Yeah. Just think about how lame you have to be to try to get by with that.
Yeah, it's all the people that hate him are the ones we need to hate him. Mm-hmm. Because if the Romneys of the world and the Ryans of the world were endorsing and loving and all, we'd be like, this is probably not our guy or girl. You know what I mean?
How embarrassing does have on your resume? Aide to Mitt Romney.
Mittens, Romney.
Yeah.
Mittens.
We're supposed to care? 238 people. You want to know who it included? Former Vice President Mike Pence. Advisor Olivia Troy, who spoke at the Democratic Convention in Chicago last week.
Who?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Who? And more importantly, who cares? Trump should wear this as a badge of honor, not as something to be reported negatively about. It's a damn badge of honor. Hey, all of the losers in the party for the last 20 years don't like me. Every candidate we put up that's been a loser doesn't like me. All of their aides for all those losing campaigns, they don't like me. Well, good. Good. That seems to me the way exactly it should be.
Yeah. That works.
Exactly. That works just fine for us. So, couple of I want to get the JFK speech, but I'm going to need a little more time on that, but we'll get to that. But and he was on Tucker today.
Yeah.
Did you see any of it?
No, I didn't get a chance to see any of it.
Did you see any President Trump on with our guy Sean Ryan?
No, I didn't get a chance to see that either.
Now that is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Because that is maybe one of the most watched when it comes to our veterans and military and guys who served. Sean Ryan, I'll bet, I don't know the numbers. I'll bet his podcast, his show is probably one of the most viewed by that audience.
Yeah. Probably. And he's always got some great guests with some interesting stuff that a lot of people don't even tackle. So you're going to be reaching, and again, that's another example of reaching out to somebody who's got a different audience than us. We're the converted. You need to reach out to those that need to get converted.
Yeah. And then if we have time, I want to get to another victory out of Florida, this time when it comes to transgenders. The governor and the state of Florida once again prevails over, the craziness of the left. So if we have time, we'll get to that. 13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll do some news when we get back right after this. All right, if you're watching in the chat, make sure you hit a like, subscribe, thumbs up, comment, whatever you can do. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up there. Only 240 of you have out of 800 watching. 25% of it, 75% of you think it's not worth a thumbs up. That's probably not good.
I probably didn't hit it either. Oops. Okay, I gave it
243 now.
You have a read here.
I have a read here. Okay. Well, let me pull that up. Who's joining us tonight? Dr. Ben Tapper, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I'll ask him if you want me to. What do we got here? We got My Patriot Supply?
Yep.
Okay. Sound like the blues on a Monday, 17 past the hour. Let me talk to you about our friends at My Patriot Supply. You know, all this audience, and most Americans are proud Americans. They want to be ready for whatever comes their way, and that's why they rely on My Patriot Supply. Their mega 3-month emergency food kit comes jam-packed with 33 varieties of filling and delicious foods. Not only does it include creamy chicken-flavored rice, oh man, that sounds good, old-fashioned Italian spaghetti, that sounds good too, and savory, cheesy broccoli soup. Delgado, you know he loves that. But you also get a bonus protein kit with diced beef, flavorful chicken chunks, and 3 varieties of beans, plus 9 different fruits, vegetables, and snacks. That's all part of the 3-month mega emergency food kit. All in this emergency food kit provides a whopping 2,500 calories per day to keep you well fed and ready for anything. The way we see it, it's your solemn duty as an American to protect your family without waiting on handouts, and that starts with food that you can depend on for up to 25 years. Go to mypatriotsupply.com, mypatriotsupply.com right now to save $300 on the mega 3-month emergency food kit. It ships fast and free. Go right now, mypatriotsupply.com to save $300 on your kit. Mypatriotsupply.com. Go there now, mypatriotsupply.com. 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday. Glad you're in. Let's do some news. News is brought to you by our friends at 7 Sales, and here with it is Rick Delgado. What's going on?
All right. Well, first I wanted to get something that I sent you guys about a week or so ago, and was wondering, but I don't think you ever read it. So I want to acknowledge the viewer that we have out there. His name is Mark Clancy. He sent a message and tagged us in it and said, so I got a little melancholy tonight. This is, I believe, is on Getter. Tonight, as the show wrapped, where would I be without you guys? A widower, now with my own host of health issues, I rely on LFS 6B every evening to boost my spirits. My father, mother, and brother served in the U.S. Marines. The only thing worse than losing my precious wife would be losing my country, the one they honored in war. So I rely on Damon, Delgado, Slick Rick, Kevin Downey Jr., Harry on the Highway, and Aaron and Fran on live from Studio 6B to close out my evening with a smile and laugh knowing that there is hope. Thanks for being here for me, guys. Please know how much you are appreciated. And that, again, from Mark Clancy. And
wow.
Just kind of hits home.
It seems like a lot of pressure. Especially the make you laugh part. Well, Kevin can do that in his sleep. He's good at that. So, I mean, that's really our only goal, right? I mean, we've talked about this before. Our only goal every night is to try to be funny. I mean, yes, we try to bring you the news, and you get hit over the head with it all day long. You get hit over the head with, guests and what they this and that, and that's all well, fine, and good. And then you get to us after you had dinner. And the last thing you want to do is get hit over the head with more of the same, probably. So, I mean, our only goal is to try to come on here and try to be entertaining, be funny, be serious about the issues, talk about them the way you want to talk about them the way you do talk about them, whether it's around the dinner table or other places. That's what we try to do. So it's always gratifying to get emails like that, or emails that's, that say, guys, I rely on you, or I watch you, or it means this, or my kids are watching, or we get so many of them. Wish I could read every one of them. But listen, you're the reason we do this. We don't know who's out there. I've got a chance to meet some of you in a couple places I've gone. We'd like to get the show out there to meet more of you. We sit here and talk to this camera and talk into this microphone, and we don't really know who's on the other side. So when we get these emails, kind of gives us some idea. So you're right. I mean, that's just a special.
Yeah. And, it's something that you say after anytime we get one of these and we read it, and you texted it that night too. You say, you never know who's out there.
Yeah. Did I text that to you?
Yeah.
How did we didn't read this whenever it came in?
I think I sent it on a Saturday.
Well, I'm absolutely... Here I am talking about me like I'm not here. I'm absolutely right about that text. You never know who's out there, and that's what I mean. We sit here and talk to the camera and talk to this microphone, and we don't know who's on the other end or what it means to them and how it's affecting their life. And we get a lot of those. Emails.
Yeah.
And I mean, we see it in the numbers. We see it in the comments. When we ask you to engage on social media, you do. We appreciate it. When we ask you to engage with other things, you do. We appreciate it. I mean, every show loves their audience, but I think this is the best audience. I think this is the best audience on TV. It's certainly one of the most engaged, passionate. We know that through everything that we see. Comments, emails, likes, subscribes, everything. Continues to grow, and we appreciate it. And we appreciate that email from Mark.
Yeah.
It means a lot, right?
Yeah, it definitely does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. So, and thank you to Mark and your family for their service as well.
Absolutely.
Changing gears just a little bit, let's go to the campaign trail, shall we? As the Trump campaign has released an ad that is running, I guess, exclusively in battleground states. It's only about 25, 30 seconds long, but pretty effective, especially when you think about the economy and how this is one of the major issues facing people in this country today. This is cut number 2. Check this out for yourself.
Everyday prices are too high. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes. That is called Bidenomics. A loaf of bread costs 50% more today. Ground beef is up almost 50%. There's not much left at the end of the month. Bidenomics is working. The price of housing has gone up. It feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
Yeah. Seems like they are.
That's as good as it gets right there.
Yep.
Exactly.
That opening headline is the debate. What does it say there at the opening? Roll that back, Aaron, and put it up there. The debate we've waited for or something?
Everyday prices are too high.
The debate we've all been waiting for. And that's exactly right. And I think, it's been 37 days, I think, 37, 36, 37, 38, something like that, since she's been installed as this Manchurian invisible candidate. She has not answered one single question. She has not sat down for one single interview. She has not done one press conference. She has not even taken one serious question from anybody. And I think that's going to be their plan to continue. But when she was the candidate and she started to backwalk, every position she's had, I think I'm more interested now instead of Trump her. I'm more interested in Kamala now and Kamala the last 3.5 years debating each other.
Yeah.
And so that ad picks up on that. And it's Like you said, it's whatever it is, 25 seconds, but it's brilliant.
Yeah, and more on Kamala Harris as the key senator reportedly behind Harris's rise to power is withholding his endorsement in her presidential bid.
Who would
the
that be
senator I'm
exactly?
talking about is Montana's vulnerable, I guess you know why he's holding back, Senator John Tester will not be making an endorsement in the presidential election where Vice President Kamala Harris is running as a Democratic nominee. You can always rely on people that support you.
I mean, I got to tell you, I don't support her clearly, but if I'm her, I'm not losing a lot of sleep over Fat John Tester not endorsing me. I just got to tell you, because he's nuts. So
Tester previously served as the chair of the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee from 2015 to 2017, leading efforts of the campaign arm to elect Democrats to the chamber when Harris first announced her senatorial aspirations after Harris launched her California bid. According to this, Tester was one of the players encouraging her to run, despite his previous support. He said he will not be making an endorsement in this year's race because he'll be facing his own re-election bid. And, he says, I'm not going to endorse for the presidential, and I'll tell you why. Oh. 2 reasons. Number 1, I'm focused on my race. And number 2, I'm focused on my race. Folks,
let's all hold our breath and wait for when and why John Tester is not going to do something.
He says, this isn't about the national politics. It's about Montana.
Uh-huh. Sure it is. Total head case. All right, 26 past the hour. Live from Studio 6B. More to do. We'll do it when we get back. News, Kevin Downey Jr., more news with Delgado coming up.
Unbelievable.
Oh, Martha says you guys are really part of our evening. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you, Martha.
I'm going to give that a heart emoji.
Ooh, you can do that?
Oh, yeah. On Facebook, yeah. Oh. Lorraine Donato. Yes, lost my husband at the beginning of COVID, and you helped.
Do we want to...
Get me.
I guess I have to do that, huh? Do I want to kill the YouTube?
I'm getting that he's not online.
Okay. Well, don't worry about it. I was going to say, should we kill YouTube and Facebook?
Yeah, I don't think you need to.
Okay. If he's not online, then obviously he's not. He either didn't remember or whatever.
I'm going to try one more time, and then that's it. Yeah, it's just saying that he's not online.
Okay. I'll let what's it?
So no guest?
No guest. He is not online, which I would mean probably means he didn't remember. Okay, probably not.
D Coconuts. I've been reading Kevin for years. This is my first exposure to him live. Funny guy.
Oh.
That's in the
Rumble. Very kind. Thank you, Rumble people.
You have more news, Delgado?
Yep.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night, August 26th. Glad you're in. Kevin Downey Jr. is here. He's going to do some news here in a second. Rick Delgado's doing the news right now. We'll do some more here. Aaron Fran holding it down as always. Some other things in the news we'll try to get to today. Of course, we talked about President Trump going to Arlington this morning. Obviously, President Biden, we have no idea where he even is. He's got no events on his schedule all week. We've never seen anything like this. Vice President Harris, 37 days since she was installed as the candidate, still has not taken a single question, done a single interview, single press conference. Now there's some debate over the debates.
Oh, that's right.
Do you have that in the news?
They have the debates of the debates about
September 10th is supposed to be the first one. That's in question now, right?
About the parameters. Now
and they're actually going to try to blame Trump.
Right. Now, according to some sources, the Kamala Harris campaign wants there to be seated at a table. She wants notes, and she wants microphones muted.
Yeah, and she wants Hillary Clinton in her ear. Right. She wants a lot of things if you're her you'd want, because she's trying to think, how can I fake it till I make it through this hour and a half?
Yeah. And from what I understand, originally she wanted the mics, muted. Now she wants it open because I guess she's hoping to be interrupted. I think that's her goal.
Yep.
To be like, oh, look, he's being mean to me kind of thing. Meanwhile, Trump responded with, it doesn't matter, open or close, let's just go.
Exactly.
So
we agreed to you are the ones who set the ground rules. Just like Biden set the ground rules for the first one. You guys wanted to do it early, thinking I wasn't going to say yes. You wanted the mics. You guys got your host. You guys got your network. We did everything on your terms because you thought you were going to get us somehow, like you've been trying to get us for 10 years. And how'd that go? No one knows where Joe even is anymore.
Yeah.
And so now you got ABC, a network that is hostile to Trump in every way, shape, or form, more maybe than any other network. They're all hostile, but maybe more. And now you're trying to change the terms of whether the mics are open or closed or standing or seated. I mean, if I'm him, I'd gladly sit at a table with her. I'd get as close as I could. Real easy then to turn and ask her direct questions that they're not going to ask her.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love that.
And I would say,
who's advising her to do that? By the way, sit at a table with them, or maybe it's not with them. Maybe they want to just sit alone,
sit
like
across from each other. I don't know.
Man, I'd say I'll sit at a table, but it's got to be the same table.
Yeah,
yeah. I want to be right here. Me and you. Let's sit down. Oh my God, would she be sweating? Could you imagine the pressure, knowing that when she opens her mouth, the polls just drop every syllable.
Yeah, and you know what? Even if they said, okay, mics are open, if I were Trump, just push yourself back in the seat, let her talk. Because remember when that happened during the first debate with Biden? He'd get 30 seconds into a question and he'd be done. They'd be like, you got another minute 15 left.
I have no idea what he said, and I don't think he does either.
And just let these people ramble, because once you let them start talking, they expose themselves for the dolts that they are. There's a great example of one that I found today, where Kamala answers a DEI question. This is cut number 3.
This is again old though.
This is old?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you saw
it's worth playing, but
all right.
She didn't answer this today, I don't think.
On a different front, Axios this week reported that President Trump, if he gets a second term, will sort of dial back, for lack of a better term, DEI programs that the Biden administration has put in forth. Obviously, I know you disagree with that. I obviously believe that you don't want him to get a second term. That said, if that does happen, what do you think that would do to race relations in this country?
Well, let me say we're going to win, so it's not going to happen. But
before
I
she was
think
the
that,
nominee.
listen, we today is actually, I believe, an anniversary in terms of Dr. King, right? And I was just in Selma, and we celebrated, acknowledged the 59th anniversary of Bloody Sunday.
I think it's really important that we as Americans always embrace our history, the parts that we're proud of and the parts that we're not proud of, but that we can't forget. And we should all agree that we should teach history. We should learn history if we're to ever have an accurate idea of where we want to go and where we don't want to go in the future. And that means also acknowledging the importance of diversity. It means acknowledging the importance of the fact that everyone should have equal opportunity to compete and equity. And then, of course, inclusion, that, hey, let's look around the room and see who's not here, and did we leave the door open?
Oh, my God.
So that's what you would have to look forward to.
Play a little more of that, and then give me some sound on my screen here. Let me fix that. Play a little more of that, Aaron.
On a different front, Axios this week reported that President Trump, if he gets a second term, will sort of dial back, for lack of a better term, DEI programs that the Biden administration has put in forth. Obviously, I know you disagree with that. I obviously believe that you don't want him to get a second term. That said, if that does happen, what do you think that would do to race relations in this country?
It's perfect.
Well, let me say we're going to win, so it's not going to happen. But I think that, listen, today is actually, I believe, an anniversary in terms of Dr. King.
Yeah, that's good.
Right?
And, you get the idea. Yeah, works much better. All you got to do, that's great. I mean, that's Crazy Town. And that is Crazy Town right there.
Wow, she should have that music all the time when she talks.
Yeah. And that's why it's 37 days that she has been installed as this shadowy whatever. And she's not going to answer any questions because of that. Moments like that right there is what her team is looking at video of, going, yeah, we listen, even if it costs us a couple points, we got to do whatever we can. And this is why you're seeing the debate things come up, because they're thinking, how in the blue hell do we get her through 90 minutes?
Yeah. Against him.
And was that question not a little racist?
Just a little.
I mean, as if to say, without DEI, black people don't have a chance.
Right.
Yeah.
How is it going to impact race relations?
Yeah.
There's some gasoline I'm trying to pour on this fire. Can you give me a spark?
Well, again, I mean, black kids are just as smart as white kids.
Poor kids are just as smart as white kids.
Poor kids are just as smart as the white kids. That was that one. And then there's so she comes from. This is what her running. This is what her buddy there thinks. So at that time, he was still the lead on the ticket. So she's still falling in line, I guess, or whatever.
Well, here's one of Kamala Harris's top surrogates, Kelly Robinson.
Who?
Kelly Robinson. One of her top surrogates. We all know who she is. Explaining how they want to reimagine democracy. Damon, reimagine. This is cut number 7.
Yeah.
We can't just worry about protecting democracy. In this moment, we've got to reimagine it with people that look and love like us at the center. And I think for us right now, it's about reimagining freedom and this American story in a way that is more revolutionary than what our founders actually put down on that little piece of paper, but instead is the type of democracy that is by and for all of the people of this country. That's the opportunity that we have.
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so?
No. Most of us don't think we need to reimagine anything or reinvent anything or anything. We don't need to anything about the country. And it's not a small little piece of paper. That's how they look at it.
Right.
They look at it as a living, breathing document that has changed, that was written for a time that is no longer. That's why they think the Electoral College is insane. That's why you have current hosts on MSNBC like Chris, Hayes, saying the Electoral College is insanity. They want the country ruled by New York and L.A. People who say, Wyoming's only got this many people and they've got 2 senators, and California's got 40 million and they've only got 2 senators. That's crazy. Those are the people who want to destroy the country. Those are the people who don't understand the brilliance of what the Electoral College has meant, why our founders put it in, what it's meant to protect against, so that the country is not ruled by the elites on both coasts. So that the middle of the country has the same representation. But this is their targets. The filibuster, the Electoral College, the Supreme Court. Those three alone, the country is over if they got their way with those three.
Yeah.
Over. No coming back. That's what's on the line. All right, what else?
Let's see. My final clip, at least for tonight, is going to be cut number 8 as CNN's Jake Tapper calls out Cory Booker on Kamala Harris's attempt at writing a new chapter, Damon. There's a new chapter for the administration and how we go forward. Here he is calling out Cory Booker. Believe it or not, it seems like Jake Tapper may have been slightly, I don't know, red-pilled, orange-pilled, whatever you want to call it.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but you never hear. Cut number 8.
A new chapter? I mean, she's the incumbent vice president. Democrats have controlled the White House for 12 of the last 16 years. How can Democrats talk about a new chapter turning the page? You guys are the ones writing the book.
Well, you know that that's not true, Jake, because you know politics like I do. Right now, we see the MAGA Republicans in Congress killing all kind of pragmatic policies that we need to get done. On the most contentious issue, we had a bipartisan deal settled on by Senator Langford, a right-wing Republican, and Chris Murphy, a blue state Democrat. And what killed that deal, what killed the pragmatic progress, wasn't the sensible Republicans, but really people that were kowtowing to Donald Trump. His influence is egregious and incredible.
You know what's
I mean, this guy is such a liar. I mean, it's just, You know
what that just reminded me of? Over the weekend, and I rarely go on Facebook and get into debates with people because it's useless. They just have this hive mind that they just believe what they believe, and this is what the news tells me, and this is what's real, and this is all they espouse. They talk in memes. They don't really have conversations, and when you try and call them on something, they flip out. But this one guy is like, when Democrats are in control, we had 400 and some odd bills and 300 or so got passed and they became law. And I'm like, so you're okay with expanding the government and introducing more laws? Am I reading that correct? And the person flipped out because I nailed them on the one thing, because their converse to that were Republicans got nothing done. Nearly nothing got passed. And I'm like, well, that's a good thing, right? Less government is more. You don't want the government gumming up the works, making more regulations, making it harder to do whatever we have to do to get ahead. But this person was espousing, we got all these laws passed. For what? For what? To stop you from your pursuit of happiness? To stop you from achieving any goals that you and your business might have, or achieving some type of level of wealth to carry on and hopefully provide better for yourself and your family down the road? And they don't get it. They don't understand. They just want more top-down controlled government, and it boggles the mind.
Well, remember, Delgado, if you're succeeding, you're the reason that I'm failing. Or somebody's failing. All right, 43 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We're back to wrap it up on a Monday right after this. The Arizona Police Association. I mean, this is pretty much how it's gone. The Arizona Police Association tonight endorses Ruben Gallego over Kerry Lake. I mean, what does that tell you? The Arizona Police Association. We need to look up. Are they the biggest? endorses Ruben Gallego over Kerry Lake for Senate, even after the president of the APA, like Lake, spoke at Trump's rally in Glendale on Friday. I mean, is she that unlikable in the state?
Arizona, what are they called?
The Arizona Police Association. I mean, she could very easily cost Trump Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I just cannot believe. I don't know. I guess Charlie Kirk would have a much better feel for this, but how can she be that unpopular?
My friend from PJ Media lives there. He said her big mistake was taking a dump on John McCain in some fashion that wasn't necessary.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he says. And
Arizona still love McCain?
Some of the conservatives, yeah. I find that shocking too.
It could just be the, what do you call it? Oh, the Arizona Police Association, the guys who run it. But the rank and file probably support her. You know what I mean?
You know,
but that's just a terrible look.
But she has the endorsement of other law enforcement groups, including Arizona Conference of Police and Sheriffs, Arizona Law Enforcement Association.
I mean, the polls reflect exactly that. She's down, what, like 6, 7, maybe more in some polls there?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the polls out in Arizona. Arizona.
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday, Real America's Voice. Glad you've been a part of the show. As always, hit the like and subscribe if you're on social media. We appreciate when you do. Let's do some news with Kevin Downey Jr. He's the host of the Kevin Downey Jr. Show, 10 to 11 weekdays right here in the New York radio market, 103.9 FM in Long Island. What's going on, Kev?
Thank you, sir. Check this headline out. So we talked earlier about replacement, how it's going on in England and how it's already started here. Check out this headline. Over 100 students without bus service as Massachusetts funds buses for migrants. I shall read this in my broadcaster's voice. The 150 students at Stoughton, I don't know how to say it, public schools will have to find a new way to get to school ahead of the academic year's September 4th start date, the Boston Herald has reported. The news comes at the same time the state has started paying for buses for the migrant students of the more than 200 migrant families that recently moved into their community. Keep in mind, Boston also went to Roxbury, that's a black neighborhood, and said, we're taking over this youth sports complex because we need to put some illegal immigrants here. The people fought back and won that time. That's great. And the same thing happened in Chicago at a youth sports complex. They said, we need this for the migrants, the illegal immigrants. Really, I don't call them migrants. I call them replacements. They call them all sorts of fun names like newcomers and whatnot, but they're your replacements, folks. And so this is yet another step. Another example. And keep in mind, this is Boston. Massachusetts is very, very liberal, and they're signing up. They're voting for this. They're voting for the illegal immigrants, kids, to get a bus ride to school. But if you're from Stoughton or however you say it, Stoughton's is not like the nicest suburb out there. It's not tragically dangerous, but it's a lower rent. You know, it's not one of the yuppie neighborhoods. That's what's going on there, and. I have, folks, this is sad news. Please don't laugh. whatever you do, don't laugh at this, but Anthony Fauci was hospitalized this month because he got West Nile virus from a mosquito that Bill Gates probably infected. That's going on. Don't laugh. This is serious business. He's Fauci, 83, the country's former, he says COVID czar. He's much more of a tyrant. Hospitalized for 6 days. Now he's at home, where he is recuperating from the mosquito-borne disease, as reported by the Washington Post. A full recovery is expected. Good, because I need to see him go to jail. So the virus typically spreads from Culex pipiens. I don't know what that means because I didn't go to college. The common northern house mosquito. Oh, that's what I was about to say. That the bite can infect birds and then bite people. So the mosquito zaps a bird and then comes and zaps you, according to the CDC, which is useless actually. So none of this could be true. Who knows? But Fauci, don't laugh. 6 days in the hospital. And it's not impossible. It's not impossible. Keep in mind, Fauci weaponized monkeypox as well as COVID. Did he do this one? I hope so. I think that would be hilarious. Now, I've got something. You want something on the military-industrial complex?
Yeah.
Check this out. So there's nothing the military-industrial complex likes more than adding more nations to NATO. You think they've got so many NATO nations, why do you need more? Well, here's why. When you join NATO, you have to be armed with the proper NATO equipment. The bullets, the guns, the jeeps, everything. It all has to be from NATO. That way we all have the same ammo, same guns. That makes a lot of sense. Guess who makes that? If you said the military-industrial complex in the U.S., you would be absolutely correct. So you can see now why they've been adding nation after nation. Remember, in the, I want to say 92 maybe, the U.S. promised Russia, NATO's not getting any bigger. Well, now it's almost twice the size as it was. You can Google NATO maps for various years and see how NATO has expanded. And now you can see why Putin, and I'm not defending him, he's an animal, he doesn't want NATO in Ukraine. Well, of course not. Remember, folks, there was peace between Russia and Ukraine until, and I think it's the Minsk II agreement, until Biden called up the Boris Johnson guy. He looks like a cartoon Mr. Lurch from Addams Family, that guy with the blonde hair, and said, go over there and tell him to rip that up. And, well, actually, they had to sneak in Zelensky first. Zelensky was very pro-U.S., very pro-CIA, making a lot of money, turning Ukraine into a money laundering outfit. There is what they're doing. So this came from Robert Kennedy Jr. He was the one who spelled it out. And I've been looking into this because that was such a great speech. He's absolutely correct. There was no war there. The war was planned for 2014. They wanted Hillary to win in 2016. They started working on this in 2014. Trump, of course, came along. He was a bump in that road, if you will. So that's what's going on in the world of the military-industrial complex. I remind you, I am unvaccinated and non-suicidal.
There you go. All right, Kevin Downey Jr. Greg Price on Twitter, as we were talking about this all night tonight, he says, let's get this straight. Former Democrats now endorsing Trump. Elon Musk, RFK Jr., and Tulsi Gabbard. Former Republicans now endorsing Kamala, Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, and Jeff Duncan. I think, I don't know about you, but I'm perfectly happy with those trades.
Yeah. Right? I'll take those.
I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we get a couple draft picks too out of that?
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, 4 minutes left in the show. Delgado, any other news or clips we haven't gotten to?
Yeah, real quick. I'm sure you heard about the whole hullabaloo regarding the Foo Fighters' use of or the Trump campaign use of the Foo Fighters song "My Hero."
Yes, when RFK took the stage.
Yes, when he took the stage, it was very prominently played. Of course, the Foo Fighters freaked out, claiming the song was used without their authorization. Well, according to the Trump campaign, they dispute this because they got clearance to play the song from the owners of the song called BMI.
Yeah.
That is, of course, the people that own that music because the Foo Fighters sold it.
It's called, licensing. And you would think that people in the music business would understand it. Of course, they do understand it. They're just lying.
Yeah. So there you have that story, in case you were wondering about that. And the other social media story, the Telegram CEO, Pavel Durov, the Russian-born billionaire, founder and owner of Telegram messaging app, was arrested at Le Bourget, airport outside of Paris shortly after landing on a private jet Saturday and placed in custody, according to Reuters. The arrest of the 39-year-old tech billionaire prompted on Sunday a warning from Moscow to Paris that he should be accorded his rights, and criticism from ex-owner Elon Musk, who said that free speech in Europe is under attack. There is no official confirmation from France of the arrest, but two French police sources said one Russian source who spoke on the condition of anonymity said Durov was arrested shortly after arriving at the airport on his private jet. One of the two French sources said that ahead of the jet's arrival, police had spotted he was on the passenger list and moved to arrest him because he was the subject of an arrest warrant issued in France. Telegram abides by the EU laws, including the Digital Services Act. According to Durov, the CEO has nothing to hide and frequently travels in Europe. It's absurd to claim that a platform or its owner are responsible for the abuse of people on that platform.
Insanity.
So it's insane.
We know what's going on.
We know what's going on.
We know what's going on here. And by the way, you can bet that every one of his bank accounts will be frozen. But you know what they won't be able to freeze? His Bitcoin. Do you know how much of that he has?
Nope.
About 100 million.
Wow.
I think he's good.
And that's exactly what it was designed for.
He could probably bail himself out.
This exact situation. You can freeze the bank accounts. We ain't going to touch that. Good luck.
Yeah.
And again, we know, if you haven't heard Mike Benn speak on this, you should. Because he's been really good in the last couple of days with his ideas. And again, this is a guy and a platform that none of the apparatchiks around the world are too fond of.
Yeah. Unlike Facebook, where we already know that Zuckerberg...
You can get the Zuckerberg treatment or you can get the Telegram treatment. Which one do you think all of the mob bosses around the world would prefer?
Yeah.
That's what's going on. All right, as always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, everybody on the front lines. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron, Fran, great job as always. Most of all, thank you, the live from Studio 6B audience. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow night, Tuesday. Slick will be back. Live from Studio 6B. We'll see you then.